time for the WWF Beta East Royal Rumble.
I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. Alright, back in the basement, hopefully to wrap up this WWF project now that I have my boards back from Tommy Pinball. They're looking pretty good. I also got my new old stock slingshot plastic set from Kyle Dubourdu, so thank you very much. I have to bust those open when I have another hand free, or I could just try and tear. No, forget about it. Let's go see what Tommy did to the boards. He told me that there was a lot more battery damage than I had initially warned him about. I thought there was just a bit. Guess there was a lot more. Power supply. I know he replaced a couple connectors. Looks like this guy and maybe CN1. But let's go look at the list. I got it pulled up. And we can see exactly what he did. So there's the MPU. Replaced a bunch of resistors, R1, R4, R2, R3, R6. Also R65, R109, R110, a bunch of capacitors. Replaced a PST5 and an NES55P and a MC6808. Replaced the socket. Okay, that is probably for the NVRAM because I know that was bad. 5C and 5D sockets. Replaced OSC1, whatever that is, and remediation of alkaline, removal and cleanup. Many extra parts. I supplied the NVRAM, and everything is tested and good to go. And for the power supply, looks like a lot of capacitors were replaced. C1, 3, 7, 2, C4, CN8. And that seems to be about it. Oh, wait. 9-pin Molex connector, CN8. But yeah, so lots of stuff was done. Let's have a peek here and check out the action. So where the batteries were, and it would have just kind of leaked downwards and spread. So this is possibly the 6808, although that says 6821. So I'm not sure if that was replaced. But it is looking good. Got new ROMs too. I don't think that was mentioned. Or maybe just the labels. I'm not entirely sure. Just to cover up the windows there, which is always good practice, so your info doesn't get deleted with light. Alright, well, looks like all these capacitors have been changed. And yeah, there's CN8 there. But I'm pretty sure, actually I'm not sure, don't quote me, but these guys are often suspects for leakiness. And I imagine he changed those. Always change these guys, from what I understand. And looks like got a couple leg extenders there for that axial. No, that's radial capacitor. What does the back look like here? You know, he worked with what I gave him. And it wasn't all that pretty, but much better now. So, install these, and power it on. Also, install these new balls, and I got a couple other tweaks on the to-do list. That's not it. Oh, my to-do list is under here. I should check these fuses. I'm assuming that Brent does, but I'm going to double check these. That's on my list. Make sure they're correct. And find out why the one flasher was missing, if it was just borrowed. Test Playfield flashers. I'm going to test everything. LED, the upper playfield. Oh, I got to LED a bunch of crap. But I don't have my LEDs back yet. But Kevin has put in some serious time into the Whirlwind project over the weekend. Said he spent 15 hours a day trying to get it together, and it's beating the shit out of him. So I'll be checking that out soon. And when I get my LEDs back, I'll finish off the LEDs in this machine. So I think for now we'll start with installing the slingshots and then the boards. I'll be back. All right, so if you look closely, WW does not stand for WWF, stands for Whirlwind. And it ain't gonna fit in WWF, which explains to me why Kevin messaged me very recently and said, yeah, the machine's been kicking me in the ass. I'm just got the boards in, but having a little bit of trouble connecting the connectors. And I said, okay, I can give you a reference, you know, if needed, with using my Whirlwind. And yeah, so that is some serious shenanigans. There's got to be one on every episode. This one's pretty major. I just grabbed this assuming it was WWF. I was missing one letter though, and now I don't know that I can install this because Kevin's at work. So I will wait for his reply and see what he says, but I can at least start with the power supply. And these are the old slingshot plastics, and these are the new. I'll put one side by side so you can see the difference. The color is definitely faded, or maybe it's just a different print. Each print has got its own shade to it. So this says it's -15 and this says 15A, so looks like on that print they got a little more detailed. All right, all the fuses checked out on this board except for this guy here. It's supposed to be a 0.5 amp slow blow, but in its place was this. Where are you? 5 amp. So a little bit too much, like 10 times over amped. That's usually for displays, that low amperage fuse. And that couldn't have been good, so that's all I needed to do fuse-wise. Time to install. Okay, power supply is installed. I got all the connectors in, so we'll see what kind of action we get even with no CPU. And we should be able to we should at least get the additional general illumination on the bottom strand that we didn't get with my other board. So let's turn around and see what happens. Let's watch the fuses closely.
It's time for the WWF Beta East Royal Rumble.
Oh, we got audio. That's cool. No display, but there we go. Our general illumination throughout all these guys. Hey, looks like that light was flashing through the camera, but it really wasn't. And this side, they look all to be good. I'll check out the slingshots. I'm thinking I'm gonna get purple flipper rubbers for these guys. Doesn't really match as well as I like, so it'll match those guys. Okay, well, I can install the new balls and probably change a couple sleeves in the pop bumpers that I haven't got to yet, and do it. I do have new decals ordered for these drops, so they should be coming pretty soon. All right, can you tell which are the old and which are the new from this angle? Maybe we need to zoom in. Old and worn and dull. and new and shiny and reflective. So, new balls. All right, all 3 pop bumper sleeves have now been changed. I did the one earlier in the series, and these 2 guys are now done. So that's off the list. There's one little issue I noticed from underneath when screwing this pop bumper bracket back on. It wasn't really going flush to the back of the playfield, and then I remembered when I installed this wire form, I put a significant amount of pressure on top of this pop bumper cap, and I think after a lot of popping and bumping, it could end up being a recipe to break the corners of the pop bumper bracket since there's so much pressure on it. So I got to figure out a way to deal with that. Maybe I can just raise up, put a couple washers here or something, alleviate the pressure, make sure that the ball can still roll down as it should. And I also got to factor in that when I do have this set up, I will be cranking up the back legs, so I won't have to worry about pitch too much. But yeah, I think I'll throw a couple washers under there and see if that helps alleviate that pressure. And new balls. You can't see them, but they're all installed. Okay, let's try this live, because I want to see right there, the bottom of the ring is pushing on the pop bumper cap. I'm going to loosen this nut here. The problem is, the pressure is so close to this area. I don't think I can raise the mini playfield. I mean, I guess I could, but not very easily. So if I loosen this screw here, is any pressure getting relieved? This may not be the solution. Let's see. Yeah, pressure is relieved over here, but that is still, yeah, that is not the solution. And something just fell over there off of my shelf. I think it was a speaker. So this is not the solution. Okay, I have an idea. I'm not sure if it's a good one or a bad one yet. We'll find out. And I don't have any other of these pop bumper caps. They're special to Data East, it looks like. So hopefully I don't destroy it. It's just kind of melting it. It's not actually cutting it. But that's okay, as long as I don't screw up that screw post. I want to keep that intact. Okay. So you get the idea. I'm going to make a little bit of room for that wire form. I'll mess with this for a bit and I'll report back. Alright, check this out. I managed to not break the screw post. So we're going to do a little dry fittage. Let's see, that goes like this, right like that. And this guy goes like this. Okay. Oh, come on now. I guess having free hands would be nice right about now, or a tripod, but I didn't set that up. So let's try this a little more elegantly. Try the bottom mini playfield holes first. No, that's not going to work. Got to do this, then you got to do that. There we go. There we go. And set that there. Set that there. And check that out. It like fits in there friggin' perfectly. I think that will solve my problem, so boom. Alright, everything is back installed, and I was a little concerned I was gonna run into that screw there with the ball, but all good, except the ball stalls there. But that again, is more of a pitch issue. So I can lower that switch or jack up the back legs. Wonder if this one does the same. No, that one bounces pretty good over it. Yeah, okay. That's where all the dialing in and tweaking will happen once I get the correct CPU in the machine. Okay, I'm pretty much at a standstill. There's not a whole lot more I can do until I get my CPU, which I'm hoping to do tomorrow. And then I can proceed. But for now, I think I'm going to play some big game and X-Files.